All right. Hey. What's going on, everybody? It's Wednesday. It is 7 o'clock here on the East Coast, 4 o'clock there on the West Coast. I am DJ Remark from Horror Sucks. And with me is Mr. Kaden Becker from Ghost Pirate Entertainment. What's going on, bud?
What is up? So, Saya only says hi to you. What the fuck? I'm Chump Cheech.
I know. I feel so special. I feel so special. Here it is. And I forgot to put the chat up on the screen, but there it is. It's up there now. So everybody can read on both channels, both the Ghost Pirate and the Death Rattle podcast, which if you're not watching on the Death Rattle podcast side, please go do that. We would love that if you did that. But we got the chat up. So everybody can see what everybody's saying and respond, and it's a good little compromise. But anyways, that's it. Who's in here? John Connor's in here. What's up, buddy? Akvi, what's going on? What's going on, Saya? Levon says, "Sweet." What's going on, Terry? Good to see you. There's my special shout out. Hello, Saya. Already said hi, Terry. Let's see here.
Portugal. Jordan
from Portugal. What's going on? Hey. Wow. Saya says hi, Kanan. It was because of last week. Okay? John Connor's here.
That's why I made a big deal out of it.
Nightingale Widow, what's up? Good to see everybody. Yeah. So got a little bit to talk about today. I have not seen Fear Street yet. So I can't talk about it. I'm sorry. I've been busy. I just, ever since Cannes, I've just had a bunch of stuff to do, and I'm going to stop saying the word as much as I can, but I've had a lot of stuff to do. And so, anyway, that's Rusty Shackelford. I normally can't watch the whole show because it's too long. What? But I'm here now. Well, we appreciate you being here. Thank you. So good to see you. There's also, just FYI, I know it's no surprise to everybody. that I have connection issues with my internet, but it is currently storming here, and I might have even worse connection issues if that happens. So if that happens, Cannon's going to take over and just do it on the live.
Try to go as long as we can with both of us.
Well, so what did you think of Fear Street? Is like, just give an overall, like, what'd you think?
I thought it was entertaining. Like, I don't know what people are expecting from this movie, because like I've seen so much hate heaped on this movie, and I'm like, what are you guys expecting? Like, it's completely full of tropes, but that is literally the whole point of the Fear Street movies. Like, all of them are taking place in a certain time, and they're trying to resemble whatever those horror movies are that are known for, like the horror genre from that era. It's like, you literally, every single one of the Fear Street movies has done that. But for some reason with this one, it being a trope heavy 80s slasher, people are just hating all over it. It's like, that's what it's like. That's the whole point. It's like, I don't get it. I don't know why everybody's so mad at it. Like, is it like a bunch of pointless characters getting viciously killed? Yep. Just like every other 80s slasher. I mean, to me, the reason you go and watch it is it's just a fun popcorn slasher. You enjoy the bloody ass kills and, the humor that's in it and the music. And it's got great 80s music, which I even saw people complaining about that. Like, why do they always got to use the same 80s songs? It's like, because those were the big hits from that time.
Yeah.
Like, why are they like, you don't play B-sides. Those aren't the ones that were famous from that era.
Right.
Like, they literally just play, like, the ones that you kind of expect, because those were big in that era. Like, there was other music, but those were the songs that were, in the summer of 89 or 88, I think 89. Anyway, in that summer, I actually old enough to remember that those were the songs that we were listening to, like, the most. You're not going to, like, if you go to a high school, then those are the songs you're going to hear. You're going to hear New Kids on the Block. You're going to hear, you're not going to hear the more obscure stuff. Yeah, maybe if you're walking around, you'll hear, a little bit more obscure, but you're going to hear, if you want to hear metal, you're going to hear Metallica. You're not going to hear fucking deep, B-side Slayer, or Sepultura Arise. You're not going to hear those. Not nearly as much anyway. Like, people were listening to that, but anyway, I thought it was fine. Like, I recommended it. It's actually going to be in the video that I'm putting out this Friday of me recommending it, but only in that sense, just a fun popcorn movie. It's definitely not anything to, like, pick apart, overthink, like, characters make stupid decisions, dialogue that isn't exactly the way people really talk. Like, it's what you got. It's what you get at 80 slashers too.
Yeah.
Well, like, it kind of reminded me of Pieces. Like, it's kind of on that level, but like Prom Night meets Pieces. But
okay.
one thing I did actually really like, and I was excited about this, is there isn't anything like PC shoved into it. Like, there isn't a token gay person. There isn't, they're not talking about issues like about abortion or something that is like, like they're just having fun. And I liked, because that was one of the problems with the Fear Street, the first three, even though I liked them and I thought they were good. I just felt like those are not necessarily the right type of movies to be putting these important, heavy, messages and underlying tones in. Like, it doesn't really fit. These are supposed to be like a harder level of the Goosebumps, and this one feels like that. This feels like it's finally that. It literally feels like Goosebump level characters, Goosebump level dialogue, Goosebump level, just a little more adult, lots more gore. You know what I mean? And like, that's the assignment to me. So that's why I don't know why people shit on it so much. Like, I really don't know what people thought these movies, or like this movie, is going to be.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you're a 13-year-old, this would be their favorite fucking movie, dude. Like, you're going to fucking love this movie.
Nice. I was actually just talking to an 11-year-old at a Memorial Day party or cookout on Monday, the host's kid, and he watches horror, and his favorite movies are the Terrifier movies. So it's like, all right, fine. Well, you're an 11-year-old, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just funny, like, and it's what I love about this genre, because he's going to be a fan for the rest of his life, like
Yep.
that's what horror does.
We all got started on those movies that are not the A24. Like, to me,
Right.
the A24 movies, like the movie that comes out tomorrow, Bring Her Back, which I already saw, like that's for an adult audience. Like that's not a movie. It's not holding your hand. It's super serious subject matter. And it's not going to be for everyone either, because like if you're someone that enjoys just gore and like stupid jokes and you know what I mean, that's like Clown in a Cornfield. Like if that's the kind of movies you love, this is not going to necessarily be your bag. But like I love horror because they both exist, and not everybody loves them both. Like I do. I genuinely love them both, but not everybody does, and that's okay. Like it doesn't make a movie bad. That's my thing. That it's literally the thing that always drives me crazy. Like my biggest pet peeve of the horror crowd is that divisive nature of being like, that's bad. It's like, no, it's not, just not made for you.
Yeah,
it's
but
not your thing.
Yeah, but that's nerds, right?
No, it's like
it's just happening online. Yeah, dude. Like if you were to go to a comic shop back in the day, people would be talking about the same thing. Like that sucks, or this is cool, or just making up stupid scenarios to fight about. And it's probably
but those are
more...
not the people I'm talking about. I'm talking more about like the talking heads on YouTube and stuff. And like, dude,
yeah,
it's one thing to say you didn't enjoy a movie. You can talk about, the pros and the cons of it, and be, like a lot of the YouTubers that didn't like the movie, but they were fair about it. But there's the ones that are just basically like, the movie's fucking trash, like the most unoriginal movie I've seen, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're literally talking about a Fear Street movie. It is based on a Fear Street book, which is a more adult version of Goosebumps. Like,
what?
It's like someone fucking criticizing candy or what's it called? Fucking that sugary, fluffy, powdery crap that you eat off a stick. It's like, candy. You're basically criticizing cotton candy. It's like criticizing cotton candy. It's like, dude, it's stupid food. It's not like you are not eating cotton candy on like when you're at home and you're wanting like a really quality dessert and you go get this expensive cheesecake made, whatever. You're at a fucking carnival and being goofy and silly and having a good time. You're usually a kid. That's what that's for.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't understand when it comes to the arts why people can't see that. That's my problem. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about just your regular average Joe, because people are on all different levels. Like some people are just new into horror. If like you're 19 years old and when someone says horror, you think of Terrifier or The Conjuring, you're not going to understand 90% of like what I'm saying about the whole big picture, but I'm fucking almost 30 years older than you. So, of course you're not going to be on the same level with all of this.
Right. Well, speaking of
the people that do this for a living that I get angry at. Well, because a lot of them change, like it will alter people's opinions. Like some people won't even go bother to watch this movie, or they'll watch it, have fun, and then next thing I know, I'll see a lot of people saying, I liked it. It's a guilty pleasure. Like, what? No, it's not a fucking guilty pleasure. You shouldn't feel guilty for enjoying this. It's fast food. There's nothing wrong with enjoying fast food.
Yeah, but I mean, fast food can still be a guilty pleasure because it's not good for
but
you.
But it's on a different, like we've talked about this before. It's like on a different standard. Like you go and get McDonald's, right? There is good McDonald's. There's bad McDonald's. That's the range that you rate it on. You don't rate this movie on the level of fucking if like it's the same critics are the ones that will like see a movie like Bring Her Back and like, you know what I mean? They put it on the same barometer. It's like, dude, it's totally different planets of movies. Like they have to be great. Like we've talked about a bunch is like these micro budget movies, like the movie You Make. If someone puts that on the same level as The Shining, that's not fucking fair.
No, it's not.
People
it's not fair
do though. People do.
Well, it's not The Shining, so it sucks. Yeah, I know.
That's what a lot of the critic acts like. And it's like, come on, man. You got to like rate something based on what it is.
Yeah. Well,
if you're going to rate McDonald's, rate it on a McDonald's standard, not rating McDonald's versus fucking Texas Roadhouse or fucking Ruby Tuesdays or I don't know, I'm not a rich guy, so I don't know any expensive places, but isn't there like a Ruby Steakhouse or something? I don't know.
Ruby Tuesdays?
No, what's
more
the
burgers, I think.
No, I know. What's the steakhouse that I'm thinking of?
Ruth Chris?
Ruth Chris. Yeah, Ruth Chris. It's not Ruth Chris.
Ruth's Chris. Who cares? Well, so speaking of a fun movie that I think I mean we both enjoyed, Final Destination Bloodlines is doing pretty well in the box office. It is,
dude, it's killing it. Like it's not just doing pretty well; it's killing it.
I don't know if it's
for as much as this movie cost. It's well over Into the Black. That's killing it. It's like 250 million.
Dude, no, now come on. Killing it would be like look at the graph here. Killing it would be
3 weeks.
If it's over, but these are look at the wave, the projection wave, right?
Yeah, look how high it's. No, I do see the projection wave, but look how much higher above it is.
No, this is where it is. It's at the lower echelon of the projection wave. It's within its projection.
That thing is not accurate.
Yes, it is. This is the most accurate website. At the domestic box office is just under 97 million. International is 92 million. The worldwide puts it at just under 190 million. And these are
190 million. Why doesn't this show global?
It does. It's right. Look, it's right here.
Yeah, I'm talking about the projections. Why doesn't it show the projection global? Well, that's because it's a little above what they expected here in the States, but it's killing it globally. This was not expected to make this kind of money globally. Like it's
almost matched
its money globally. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's when I say it's killing it. I'm not basing it on just the United States. Like they knew it was going to do okay here, but think about it. If it only made what it basically has here in the States, it would just be reaching, like it still wouldn't even be in the black.
Right, because you got to factor in marketing and theater take, distribution take.
Yeah, 130 to 150 million.
Right.
But because of the global, that's what I'm talking about. That's killing it, dude. No horror movies do that worldwide. Like it's super rare that a horror movie makes this much money out of the United States. Why does that look? It's true. Like even look at Sinners. Like Sinners is doing great, but it still isn't like making twice its money out. You know, like it's not like half of its box office out of the country.
Let's do a comparison to Sinners.
I'm curious what country is making so much. Is it the UK?
So hang on. This is still domestic. I don't know if I can compare. Yeah, it's not comparing. This is domestic.
Just simply look up how much Sinners is made globally.
All right, just give me a second. Give me a second. We're doing some live search here, folks.
It's made 260 here.
So Sinners made 80 million. So yeah, it's about 10 million less in the global, but it's also like making way more.
That's a lot. No, well, yeah, but it's been out way longer, and it cost a lot more.
I know.
That's why I'm surprised with its Final Destination is, this movie cost at least double to make, which also is a huge amount of the marketing. Like they marketed the shit out of this movie.
Yeah.
So and Final Destination, I mean, this is a movie that's going to probably win some Oscars. So like it's more understandable. Yeah. So that's more
Sorry.
understandable that
Bloodlines isn't winning shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I'm like, this is fucking crazy. Like, it's killing it. That why I'm excited about it is I'm always excited when horror makes money, but especially when
Yeah.
it makes money on like a pop movie level. Like this is reaching into that, where you only see the more comic type of movies making money level,
Yeah.
especially globally. But it's also exciting because it shows that we're seeing a sea change. Like for the first time, horror is being marketed like a mainstream, genre, and it's being pushed and promoted, and it's making its money back. That's huge. Because like we knew going into this year that there was going to be a lot more horror movies and a lot more money the last 2 years has been put into horror, because we've seen a number of these little indie movies like Smile. Like really this changed with Barbarian and Smile. Those made so much more, and Megan, they made so much more than they were expected. And so Hollywood was like, hey. And so the bigger studios started buying up a bunch of horror projects. And so we knew more money was going to go into it. What we didn't know is if it was going to pay off.
Yeah.
Because as much as we may hate the bigger studios, they have the money. They got the money and the resources.
Well,
so like
yeah.
until they're putting out horror movies too, like, you just don't get, like, everybody that works in the movie industry, it basically means you're going to make more money.
Right. Yes, this year is going to be a great year to argue for making horror movies. I firmly believe that.
I think 2022 was the argument year. This is the payoff year where we're actually starting to see some of these projects. Now that we're seeing that they're doing good, we're going to continue to see this. Like next year, we're going to see even more. And it's usually about a 2-year turnaround roughly for a lot of these horror movies. Like there'll be someone out there that's writing a script right now, goes to a studio, gets bought, put into production. So it's about a 2-year, kind of thing before you'll see the movie. But I think over the next 2 years, especially, we're going to see a lot of horror movies. We just got to hope that they keep doing well.
Hopefully your boy gets a phone call then once the Hellgate drops.
That's why I'm excited about it. As much as I hate the big studios and I would love to see them all go down, at the end of the day, they have the money. Especially because a lot of them are the distributors.
Right.
Like,
that's
we may hate them as
your
production companies, but they're
when your production
big
company is also the distributor. Yeah, I mean, and that's how they double dip.
That's why that's how Blumhouse is able to get into so many theaters and make so much money. A lot of it has to do with that they're distributed by, what is this? Is it Sony?
Yes.
And so that's why. It's not that Blumhouse makes better movies or that they spend money. They don't. They're just partnered with a big production company who distributes them.
Right.
And so they make a lot more money.
Let's get to some chats. Philly's Blunt says, hey, everyone, had to pause The Hills Run Red to watch GP and DJ. Hell yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's a good one. Mr. Wonderful says, what's up? What's up, buddy? Let me see here. B Movie Theater says, being a film critic doesn't mean you need to criticize films. It often gets misunderstood. I mean, you should probably have some like critique being a film critic, but yeah, you don't necessarily have to. Like most
people think critique. They think of it the same as criticism. It's not.
Right. That's not true. And I just dropped
because it's always shortened as critic.
Yeah.
People always think, you're critic and they think it's kind of shortened for critique, or for criticism. It's not. It's critique.
Right. And I just dropped my Bloodlines video on Horror Sucks. So go watch it. But I do some critique, but I also praise most of it. So because I had a lot of fun with it.
I don't consider myself a film critic, but like, I don't have problems with people being film critics. I have problems when people put their personal feelings, like what they like, and then they pretend that it's a criticism. Like that it's a critique, or not criticism, that it's a critique. I just did it right there. That it's a critique. Like, that's not how a critique is done. A critique is not done based on your, like, I love whatever. I'm a big fan of Freddy Krueger. And so you're going to love Friday the 13th no matter what.
Right.
That's being a fan.
Nightmare.
What did I?
You said Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
You're going to love Nightmare.
I think it's Jason. Right. Either way, you're a big homer. So it's like in the sports, like if you're into sports, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I think more film critics should, or talking heads, because a lot of these bullshit YouTubers don't consider themselves film critics, but they want to be treated like film critics. It's like,
right.
Like me, I don't want to be treated like a film critic. I'm just a guy talking about my opinions of movies, and I won't shy away from my fandom. Like I'm going to like certain filmmakers and certain movies. Like I knew I was going to like what Danny and Michael Philippou did. I love their style of filmmaking would talk to me. I had no doubt, even if I thought Bring Her Back wasn't as good as Talk to Me, which I actually think it's better than Talk to Me. But even if I thought that, I still would have liked it because I liked their style. I'm a fan first. Okay? Yeah. And there is a difference, but I don't expect to be treated like a film critic.
Right.
Don't fucking put any weight on my opinions on shit.
John Connor says R.L. Stine's a good author, but his audience is definitely tween and young adults. Rusty says, I love Final Destination Bloodlines. It's the best in the franchise. I agree. I think it's the best one.
Yep. I think I'm not saying it's a lot better because I think I still love the first one. And I think even the second, and a lot of them are fun, but I think it's just slightly the best because it's the one that finally kind of gets the right tone.
Yeah.
It gets what we enjoy about that franchise.
B-Movie Theater says,
it's why everybody loves Nightmare on Elm Street 3. It's because it's the one that finally got the tone right.
Right. B-Movie Theater says, oftentimes a good film critic will present things from both sides, and that's one of the things that makes this podcast so great. Aw, thanks.
Well, that's critique. Like that is literally what.
Yeah, a critique is trying to look at a piece of art in the most objective way possible. That's what a critique is, and trying to see
and that's why your fandom has to be taken out of it.
Right. Exactly.
And like sports announcers and stuff are able to do that, but for some reason, in the arts, it's not, because it's not just film. Like music is the same way. Like you see people that, music critics, the same fucking bullshit. Because I remember dealing with all of them back when I did music. Like if you got a guy who's a fan of metal, he's going to give you a much higher rating than a guy who hates metal and only enjoys, I don't know, fucking punk or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not a critic. A true critic should be able to look at it through a magnifying glass or a microscope and see the good, the bad, and a lot of that has to do with how it's made. And also something I'm always pointing out, the intention of the filmmaker or the artist. Like, did the artist achieve what they were trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Because to me, that's the best. Like, that is the number one thing to look at if you're going to critique a movie, is what were the filmmakers trying to do? You don't have to like what they did. Like, you could hate what they did. Like, I hear people all the time being like, I don't like that movie. It wasn't fun. Like, that's fine. You don't have to like it. It wasn't fun. But then they'll say it's a bad movie. Like, no.
Philly's Blunt just gifted one ghost.
You can say you didn't like it, but it doesn't mean it's bad.
Philly's Blunt just gifted one Ghost Pirate Entertainment membership. Thank you, Phillies, and congratulations to the lucky receiver of whoever that was. Okay, let me get through these before we get to our next story. I have to scroll up because that took me all the way down to the bottom of the chat. So just give me
that's
5
the
seconds.
One thing I hate about this, like how it combines the chats and stuff. Like for some reason it does that all the time.
Rusty asks, is Karate Kid and Bring Her Back the only movies coming out this weekend? For wide release. I think from wide release, but there's other stuff that's coming out.
And I'm hearing Karate Kid. Karate Kid is a pretty mid movie.
Yeah, well, what are you expecting?
Yeah. People I trust are like, it's not anything special.
I'm not
like,
interested. Yeah, I'm not interested in seeing that at all.
Dude, you didn't see Mission Impossible, did you?
No.
That's the movie that I'm blown away at the praise that it's getting. Like, that's
Really? I've been seeing people
really
saying it's disappointing. I've been seeing people saying
no, I know, but I've seen like a number of people that are like that movie is trash, dude. Like, it is the worst Mission Impossible.
Really?
I'm not even a fan of the franchise, but it's, dude, if you look at it as a critic, and critique it, yes. If you're just wanting to have popcorn and go whatever, it's like, you'd probably be like, it's all
fine.
right,
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk
but if you look through a lens at all, man, like, it is so poorly edited. Like, one of the worst big budget editing jobs I've ever seen. Like, so much of the editing makes no sense. I'm like, what are they, like, what was the thought process here? Like, cameras that are like fucking, you're like, what am I watching? And then it'll cut to some, and you're like, oh, dude. And it doesn't have like, it's like an amateur editor, like trying to use editing and choppiness to make things feel more exciting. You know what I mean? That technique, that, like, just does not work. Stuff like that might have been okay back in like
the early 2000s.
Editing. There's stuff like that.
Oh man, yeah. I'm happy that trend went away, and they're trying to bring it back.
I think the people, no, they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. It also, I'm pretty sure, because I know this had this movie had to stop for like a big chunk of time during the strike, right?
Strike, yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like that. It feels like they had to try to piecemeal it together. Like, it doesn't feel like it is cohesive, if that makes sense. Like, it's one half of the movie, especially. Like, the second half is fine. The second half, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. It's like nothing special. It's all like super generic ass shit, but at least it's what you go to see a Mission Impossible for. Like, it's exciting, like these crazy set pieces. Basically, you're basically going to see a stunt reel. Is basically what Mission Impossible is.
Yeah, you're going to see Tom Cruise hang off a plane.
Yeah, but the first half of the movie for an hour, and that's the other thing. This movie's fucking long, dude. It's over 2 hours. Like, I think almost 2:30, 2:20, which is like, for this kind of movie, there's no reason it should ever be even 2 hours, much less over 2 hours. But anyway, the first hour of the movie is like watching paint dry. It is so slow, and you're like, why? Oh, the other thing, dude, I've never.
Dude, let me get through these chats. I don't want to talk about
even tiny movies. I have never seen them do more flashbacks. Like, they show like the entire franchise in flashbacks.
Well, they're trying to wrap it up in this movie, right? Like, this is supposed to be the last Mission Impossible. They're trying to get those heartstrings. Like, that's probably what they're trying to do. Yeah, but
it feels like they didn't have all the footage they needed, so they tried to tell the story with flashbacks instead.
Oh my god,
that's why. Yeah, and they like certain flashbacks they even show more than once.
All right, let me
dude. I'm telling you, I want you to see it just because you'll laugh, dude.
We got 2 stories to get through. I'll try to go see it. But Heather, I wanted to highlight this because Heather's correct. She says, to be honest, Sinners isn't going to make more globally. And that is correct, because.
What do you mean?
Well, the rest of the world doesn't really like black people that much, like, especially China. And so, like,
yeah.
And so, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But that's why. That's why.
There's some of that, but then but I don't know how true that is totally, because look how much money Black Panther made. Like, Black Panther made so much fucking money in China.
Because it had to. Well, not because it had to.
No, it's a completely black cast.
It was part of the franchise. It was part of the
but it made way more than made way more than a lot of the Marvel movies.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Before it and after it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, like, it was a good movie. I don't know if I totally buy that. I think this movie,
I think
the type of story it's a very American story. And I think that's more of what it is than anything to do with the race. I'm not saying the race doesn't have something to do with it, but I think mostly it's a story. Like, this is an American story. It's about, America in that time. You know,
Yeah, you might be
other
right.
countries can't connect to that on the same way that we can. It's what makes it divisive in a way, but a lot of countries don't really care. They're like, whatever. Like we had our own problems at that time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Then some people are talking about Smile, and then where am I? Saya says, I'm so happy
Because the
horror is
Creed
getting the
movies
spotlight
also made a lot of money globally.
and the deep pockets it deserves. Okay. And then hang on. There's oh God. There was a couple of questions I wanted to get to before we moved on. Garminder says, what's going on, Ghost? I'm a busy guy, but your poster's coming along. It's sitting here as a beautiful piece in my studio as I type this.
Nice.
So there you go.
Exactly.
The Phantasm drawing, that is.
Oh! I didn't think when it said poster, I was like, I didn't remember it. Yeah, the Phantasm drawing. Like, you're actually doing that? That's awesome, man. He asked me if I could have any drawing of any horror character would it be, and I was like, Phantasm, but I didn't think you would. I don't
That's
know.
awesome.
I don't really know what I thought. I thought it was gonna be like a digital thing, you know.
Rusty says, have you seen the movie Friendship? I'm curious to see it, but I don't know if it's comedy, horror, or something else. What were your thoughts if you saw it?
No, it's straight up comedy.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I heard it's decent, but it's just a comedy. It's like a comedy drama. It's literally just about friendships and like keeping a friendship and you know the weight on friendships and like things like that. I've heard it's good though.
Okay, that's all the chats. Sorry, guys, if I missed you. All right, let's get to our next piece of news. This is for the gamers in the audience. Alex Garland, this is from Bloody Disgusting, directed film adaptation of Elden Ring. It's coming from A24. So here it is.
Because I thought Alex Garland wasn't going to direct any more movies.
I don't know anything about that.
When I saw this, I was like, what, really?
I mean, everybody's got their price, so maybe the money was there. You knew it was coming.
I think it definitely had something to do with the project too. Like a lot of people that are around, you know, between my age and your age, you know, where he lands would love to make this.
You knew it was coming after inking a deal last year with Kojima Productions for a Death Stranding adaptation. A24 has now teamed with Bandai Namco and From Software to announce a film adaptation of Elden Ring. I don't know why there's all these red. I don't understand what's going on. Alex Garland will be handling the writing and directing duties with Peter Rice producing the film, along with Andrew McDonald and Alan Reich from DNA, George R.R. Martin, and Vince Gerardis. Further details on the film, including cast release date, weren't announced. Elden Ring was created under the guidance from Software's Japanese guy and based on a story written by George R.R. Martin, author of the fantasy novel series A Song of Ice and Fire. The news comes just as the Elden Ring spinoff, Elden Ring Night Rain, is set to be released next week on May 30th, in a few days, for PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Elden Ring was also announced to be coming to Nintendo 2. Okay, blah, 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 blah. And then 28 years later on June 20th. So that's the news there. So we're going to be looking forward to seeing some more news and stuff like that about Elden Ring. Did you play Elden Ring?
That's what I'm trying to remember. What's the game where it's I thought it was called Elden Rings, but I don't like it was connected to Elden Rings. Like, why am I spacing on the name of it? The game where it's like Fallout, but instead it's like in a I don't know, like a Lord of the Rings almost type of universe, but you can do magic or you can be more of like a regular warrior. You get swords and shields and knives. I thought it was Elder Rings, something Elder Rings.
Hang on, Elder Scrolls. No, that's not it. Is it? Is it the Elder Scrolls Online? I don't know.
Maybe no.
It's from Bethesda.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Skyrim. That's what
Yeah,
Vorpal saying?
Skyrim. Is that
Skyrim?
Elder Scrolls?
I don't know.
Is that Elder
Yes.
Scrolls? Skyrim's what I'm thinking of.
Isn't it?
So Skyrim is different.
I don't know. I'm not a gamer. I'm a no.
I know I'm not a huge gamer
Oblivion?
either, but
like everybody. Skyrim, Riven, Oblivion.
no, it's Skyrim.
John,
Oblivion's
Final
cool
Fantasy.
too. I just downloaded the new remake or the new remaster of Skyrim or of what is it? Fuck. Now I'm spacing on again of the one they just said. Oblivion. Yeah.
Oblivion.
Of Oblivion.
Unlimited Stride says, I'm still waiting for the BioShock film or series. Yeah,
I know. That'd be cool. That's coming to Netflix.
They gotta do it right. They got to do it right. If they could fuck that up bad. But
yeah, so it's Elder Scrolls. Right. So they know I haven't played Elden Rings. I thought they were the same game.
Stephanie, you're going to get a ban for this.
I used to play the shit out of Skyrim. I had no idea that there was a different game because they look similar.
There will be zero Lord of the Rings slander from anybody in this chat. I will nuke you from the sky. So,
but the big reason I'm as interested in this is the filmmaker involved.
Yeah, Alex Garland's good.
Alex Garland, dude. And he had said he wasn't making any more movies after he did what was that last one he did? He did hold on, did he do hold on.
Well, he did 28 years later.
No, I know. He's currently or just did 28 years later. But no,
so nothing after that.
When he did, because he had already signed on, he was already working on that. But Civil War. When he did Civil War, he said it wasn't going to do direct any more movies for a while.
Oh. Stephanie says my ex
already done.
Your ex.
You're already done 28 years later.
Why did you don't let him influence you or her, whoever your ex is, don't let them influence you.
Because the thing is, with 20 years later, he wrote it. And he said he was going to keep writing, but he wasn't going to direct anything else.
Oh, well, whatever. Everybody's got their price or their project.
He also did Warfare.
Maybe he's lying then.
I think it has.
You just said no Warfare.
What?
Citizen Sleeve just brought up Warfare as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Warfare was also kind of I think what happened is he was like, yeah, I'm out. But then he's like, he kind of maybe got his joy again with Warfare because Warfare wasn't a traditional kind of movie. Warfare happened because of Civil War. Like when he was shooting Civil War, the guy that was on set that was basically the expert on warfare, like in Civil War, like on fighting and all of that, the expert he had on site, he was so impressed by him and they became friends and they started talking and he was like, what would you do if we made a movie just about like actual warfare, not a fictional movie, but like, because the guy was a vet. And so he's like, actually, there's one story that I've always thought would make it for a great movie. And that's how Warfare became. Because it's basically on his real life, what like that expert on his real life on what him and his crew went through.
Nice.
Warfare is fucking incredible, dude. That movie is so damn good.
Yeah.
Like it literally feels like you were dropped into actual warfare. Like it's a lot. Like it's super good, but it's also like you're just, I don't know. It's a different feeling than any war movie I've ever seen. Like it feels so much more real than any other war movie because it was, it's made by a guy who not that long ago was actually in this situation. So,
yeah. Mr. Wonderful said, I'd love to see DJ and Kanan in Lord of the Rings Death Rattle. We've talked about it before. And I gave Kanan a tongue lashing for giving it a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. So like we've talked about it.
There's just not very many movies. I don't know what I would give a 10.
Lord of the Rings.
Like it's really difficult because I guess as far as fantasy movies, right? If I rank it based on fantasy movies, then yeah, there isn't really anything that's as good as it gets
based on
fantasy
cinema.
Yeah. But like if you rate it, that's what's so difficult when it comes to movies, right? How do you rate what the best movie of all time is? Because you got people that'll be like Citizen Kane, but it's like How do you put
2.
Citizen Kane against The Godfather, or against Rocky, against Jaws, against Exorcist, against Lord of the Rings? You know, like these movies are so different from each other.
I would say the Lord of the Rings still. I would say that it beats all of them out.
I think those are all probably just 10s.
Because it was a worldwide.
Because
I mean, they're all 10s. They're all 10s.
That's what I mean.
But if you're
like
asking,
what they're trying to do, those are all the top. Like, and so I guess that would be a 10, is whatever the top of what they're trying to do is.
Right. Yeah, they're all 10s. But yeah, I mean, if you were to ask me the greatest movie of all time, I would still say Lord of the Rings. I
struggle with that so much, like, because
that's fine.
Like they're just, it's even my list that I make. It's so hard to put any movie above another movie, especially when you're getting into the best. You know, like these are the fucking best. Right. How do you say this is the best of the best versus this is the best of the, or at least
right? How do you rank 10s out of 10s? Yeah. No, I get it.
Because like I would say Hereditary. I would say Hereditary is a 10. You know, but then it's like if you go and try to compare it,
10. I'd give it a 9
because of what it's doing at the time it did it. It's one of the only groundbreaking movies, I think, of the last 20 years.
More groundbreaking than Paranormal Activity?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because I mean,
Paranormal Activity was a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah, but it's not a masterpiece.
What?
Like it's just a new thing. There's a difference. Blair Witch.
They have not made a better movie.
Great.
That was their masterpiece. The filmmakers of Paranormal Activity have not made a better movie than Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, maybe they don't have the ability to make a 10. It's not like anybody has the ability to make a 10, to be honest.
No, I understand that. But
like a 10 is when a whole bunch of people come together and it's like magic. Things just happen to fall just right. It's like The Shining. There's so much bullshit behind the scenes. The fact that it all worked the way it does and it becomes a 10 is like, how the fuck's that happen? You know, but then there's certain movies like Misery, where, dude, it's all on the performances. Like, you cannot give the filmmaker credit for it being a 10. Like, to me, it's just the two actors. That's it. They are why it's a 10. Like the writer, you know, Stephen King, but we've also seen Stephen King movies be a fucking turd bucket.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? You can't give him credit for it. It's literally just those actors elevated it. And I think that's the case with Jaws too. Because I think Steven Spielberg's a great director. He has his part to make a 10, like, you know what I mean? But like, he needs everybody else to still do their part. I don't know how many filmmakers there are that just simply them being involved, it's a 10.
Yeah, I don't think there's any.
I think Eggers. No. Because he wrote and directed it.
Robert Eggers is very talented.
I think Hereditary's or not Eggers. Yeah. Who did Hereditary? It's not Eggers. It's is it Eggers?
No. But now you're making Ari Aster.
Like Ari Aster, I think. I mean, yeah, there's great performances in there, but he wrote and directed it. So like, if you give it a 10, I'm not saying you give it a 10. I do. I like, from a critique standpoint, that movie is a fucking 10. Like, there's nothing I would change about it. Like, for it to do what it's trying to do. I think everything in that movie is masterclass. Like, you don't. It's not my favorite movie by any means. Like, I have 1,000 movies ahead of it as far as. This is why I try to explain all the time, and a lot of people don't really get it. Like, there's so many. Like, if I make my best of all time list, most of my favorites aren't even going to be on it.
I mean, okay.
Like, Phantasm is one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's no way.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
One of the best ever. Yeah. But like, Hereditary is not a fun movie. It's miserable. That's because it's so successful. That's you know what I mean?
Citizen wants to fight. He says Paranormal Activity is decent-ish at best. Wrong. My God, now it's a masterpiece. Yes. Crazy. I entirely agree with you.
I don't know how you think it's a masterpiece.
Here's how it's a masterpiece. Here's how it's a masterpiece. It's a movie that was made for $15,000 that managed to make found footage scary again, and give a new technique to showing things on screen that aren't there. The whole gag
That doesn't make it a masterpiece, dude. That makes it like one of the, if not the most successful movies ever made.
I lost my mic.
You know,
Sorry, I lost my
that's
mic.
like that's
The whole
that's super fucking successful. Like, I'm not arguing that. It reinvented something, kind of. I mean, they did a lot of what Blair Witch showed was, you know, possible, and Cloverfield as well.
It's still a found footage. I mean, yes, it's still a found footage film.
I'm just saying, like,
found footage different than every other found footage film that you saw, and it was made for nothing and made.
That's a huge success, and
$250 million.
One of the best. As far as found footage goes, yes, it's one of the best. I just don't know if I can say any found footage movie at this point is a masterpiece. But I think part of that is also why they're successful and enjoyable. Because like a master class means it's like almost like no flaws. It's like this perfect piece of art of doing what it's doing, right? But something about what makes them good in the first place is how flawed and messy found footage movies are. But are you trying to say that you would put Paranormal Activity as your top found footage movie of all time?
I'd have to think about it, but I'd like to say yes.
I'd have to think about it. I think I still put Blair Witch above it, especially because
it's hard.
It did it before.
Yeah,
and Cloverfield as well. Like, Cloverfield made a blockbuster movie found footage. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, no,
and the budget that they were working with, it wasn't like they had an enormous budget either. And like the special effects and things at the time, like, there's so much about Cloverfield that to this day it still doesn't get like the respect it deserves, because like nobody had done anything close to that with found footage. Honestly, has anybody since
done what? Cloverfield?
Like a big blockbuster filling movie that's done found footage?
No.
The other one that doesn't get the respect is the one with the vampire one. Oh, it's so good. Damn it. Where most, like, for a good chunk of the movie, you think he's got some kind of viral infection.
I don't know.
And it's like, you see the movie kind of in backwards. You see it timeline backwards, and you buy like, and it, or not backwards, but it shows you things kind of out of order, or not out of order, but like one chunk at a time, because it feels that real. Like the guys actually shot this on a little home camera.
What is that?
And so it's cool because you just see these little glimpses, and then the next one and the next one, and wow, it's like one of my favorite. It was in my top 10 for sure. Found footage movies.
Afflicted.
Yes.
Affliction.
Or Afflicted. Yeah, it's Afflicted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then another one, As Above, So Below. Like, some people don't consider it found footage. It's one of those tricky ones. Like, the whole thing is kind of shot on a first-person camera.
I thought that movie was okay.
I think it's great. I just rewatched it. It's like better than I remembered it being. Like, it's really good. Especially like a lot of these movies, you got to put them in contextual, like at the time, what they were doing at the time. Because some of these don't quite hold, like Paranormal Activity. If you put it up against stuff being done now, it's garbage. Same with Blair Witch. You're like, really? This is boring. Like, this is not. But it's like, we didn't have all this stuff that's happened since. Like, if Paranormal Activity came out exactly the way it is right now, it would not scare you at all. Like, at all. Think about it. Think about what's scary in that movie. We've seen similar things, but they're heightened way above that.
I don't know if The Thing came out nowadays, it would scare me. Like, that's kind of hard to.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You got to gauge everything based on the time and what it was doing at the time. That's all I was saying.
Right, which is why Paranormal Activity is a masterpiece.
I still don't think I'd say it's a masterpiece. Like, it's super fun. I would give it like it would be in the 9s. I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't give it a 10.
Dude, that's near perfect.
But I don't think I would give it. I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I would give any found footage movie a 10.
So what's a masterpiece is only a 10.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because a masterpiece, nothing's above that. Like that is, they will be when they are teaching film 100 years from now. That movie will be one they talk about. I don't think Paranormal Activity will be. Blair Witch will be.
They're
Like
going
if
to
you're
talk about
100
Blair
years
Witch
from
because they're going to talk about Blair Witch because it's the most historically significant.
Exactly, that's what I mean. I still don't think it's a masterpiece, but it'll be talked about in the history books.
Paranormal Activity is a better quality movie than Blair Witch.
But there's two ways. There's two ways that you were talked about in history, like in a when you're teaching it in school or whatever. There's two ways. One is you're that impactful. So like Blair Witch's case, it was impactful because it was like groundbreaking, right? The other way is to be a fucking masterpiece. Because like Jaws or The Exorcist isn't groundbreaking, really. It didn't make tons and tons of money. Or actually, it did make quite a bit of money. But you get my point, right? It's that they were a masterpiece. It doesn't matter when they're made. They're that good. Like It Follows. It Follows is going to be talked about, even though I don't think it's a masterpiece. Nobody really thinks it's a masterpiece. It's very good, but not a masterpiece, right? But it'll still be being talked about because of how groundbreaking it was, and that one and damn it, the other one that came out right around that same time, the other artsy movie that everybody gives credit for this A24 movement that we've seen over the last 20 years.
I don't know. I need
starts with a B. It's got the annoying ass kid in it. He's always squilling in the back of the car and shit.
Starts with a B.
Yeah, and it's the little nursery rhyme book or the little scary book. The character comes alive.
Oh, the Babadook.
Yeah. The Babadook's the other one. And it's like neither of those are masterpieces. I don't think almost anybody would think that those are masterpieces, but because of how groundbreaking they are, they'll be remembered. Like, yeah. I don't think Paranormal Activity fits into either of those. Like, it's not groundbreaking enough because things had been done similar, kind of like Cloverfield. I don't think Cloverfield, well, even though I think Cloverfield might be the best found footage movie ever, it won't be talked about because it's not a masterpiece, really. It's really good, but not a masterpiece. And it's not super groundbreaking either.
All right. I don't know. I think.
I mean, I'm not saying you can't. I mean, that's fine if you think Paranormal Activity is a 10. I don't think it's a 10.
I don't know, man. For what it was made for, the story is good. The acting is good. The effects are great. They're super creative.
But 10 is like
it was a worldwide phenomenon. Like,
yeah. But you're looking at that as a marketing element. Like that's like you can't.
There was no marketing.
How much money?
Word of mouth.
I know, but how much money? No, I'm talking about. Okay, I said marketing. I meant business. You're thinking. I don't think how much money a movie makes has anything to do with it being a good movie or not. Because some of the greatest movies ever.
Oh, I get that.
Made nothing. I mean, look at The Shining, dude. It was a huge bomb. The Thing is hated.
But you have to look at the way. Okay, yes, but I think this is unique in the sense that the reason why it made that much money is because it was good enough to get everybody who saw it talking about it.
You are right. I just realized because you are right. It will be talked about because it made more money than any other movie. Like its budget versus how much it made.
Yeah,
I think it was only just surpassed, right? Something recently surpassed.
It definitely set a record for a lot. It was a $50,000 after marketing. It was a $50,000 budget, made $250 million in the box office. Like that's unheard of.
I don't think it holds a record anymore, though. I feel like something beat that. I don't remember what. But either way, yes, it wasn't even close.
How much rating is giving all these masterpiece movies? Yes, I get it, guys. Okay, yes. And also, none of you have said Sling Blade yet. Sling Blade's a fucking masterpiece, and nobody said that yet. But why don't we calm down about our masterpiece movies? I think
if you're talking about the greatest movies of all time, you'd put Sling Blade.
Fuck yeah, I would.
Super good movie, but I don't remember. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Masterclass in character.
Would you put No Country for Old Men?
I think that's a masterpiece. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like the end. I think the ending sucks, but the whole rest of the movie, yes, the dialogue.
Why don't you like the ending?
I don't like the ending. I think it's underwhelming.
That's the point.
It's a very depressed. I know we've talked about it, but I don't. That's why I don't like it.
That's what makes that ending to me. That's what makes that ending to me so like I love. Okay, endings are so hard to do because you almost always see a happy ending. It's like the safe bet. Like, how do you end anything is very difficult.
It doesn't have to be happy.
To me, no. But to me, if you have a unique way, no, not always. Sometimes I do think
that's why that's what killed the myth.
Sometimes leaving you feeling that feeling is the intention, and I like that because it's a bold, different choice. It's like the whole argument with that TV show, the mobster TV show. It was like one of the longest running TV shows with the mobsters, the gangsters.
Oh, Sopranos?
Yes. Like the ending of that, the whole argument with that, where it just literally goes to black. And so many people were so disappointed. Like, I get it, because endings are fucking impossible. Like, there's no way to end something good. Impossible. But they're practically impossible. They're another one of those things where there has to be some magic involved for it to kind of land the way it does. Like, I don't really think one human is responsible a lot of times when it comes to
Mr. Wonderful.
Because there's so many good written endings that don't work in movies. So you can't just be like, okay, this is a really well written ending of this movie, or like written, so that's gonna work. Because how many times have we seen like a book translated into a movie and everybody's like, dude, the ending blew. Like, they did exactly the same thing, but it just doesn't work in a movie. Like, it doesn't. Those two don't. So my point is, you still have to be creative with an ending. There's a certain amount of magic, a certain amount of kind of luck, or whatever you want to call it, to land it.
The landing has to be satisfying. It can be a good ending. It can be a bad ending. It has to be satisfying. It has to satisfy the trial.
I don't agree. Okay. Let me rephrase that. I can't say that's not true because it's a matter of opinion, but I think sometimes, just like a movie leaving you angry, like Babadook. I've argued with I was blue in the face with people about Babadook. So many people hate that movie because the kid is so fucking annoying. And I'm like, yes, that is exactly the point. The entire movie, the filmmaker is trying to make you feel what that mom is feeling in the movie. Like, make you want to kill that fucking kid. To me, you can say, that's not a fun movie. I didn't enjoy it. That's great. But you should be able to take a step back and be like, but that is a fucking masterpiece. Because of I don't think the Babadook in general is a masterpiece, but I'm saying like that element of it, the filmmaker, like what they did, that's master class filmmaking, because they made you feel what this character is going through. That is hard to do. And as far as the world of art, that is the most important thing as an artist. You can ask any artist, and if they really think about it, the most important thing to them is to make you feel something. Like to impact you. Like, if you can have an impact on your observer, like, dude, your job is done. Like, that means you were that you made a successful piece. And so that's what I mean by the ending. Like, sometimes an ending leaving you feeling hollow or empty, like, you may not like I would be surprised if you do like the ending of Bring Her Back. I don't think almost anybody is going to really like the ending. But if you look at it objectively, it's like, it fits. You know what I mean? The ending fits the overall tone of the entire movie. And you don't come away feeling all like happy. And, like, it's one of those movies like Talk to Me was that way too. A lot of people are angry at Talk to Me. That's an ending I can talk about. Like, you know what I mean? It's a bleak, fucked up ending, right? But that fits the entire movie. You can't have a happy ending where everybody runs away all holding hands and dancing. Like, it wouldn't fit the rest of the fucking movie.
But that's what I said. It has to be satisfying. It doesn't have to be happy.
That's not satisfying.
Yes, it is. You can have a you can have a sad ending. You can have a sad ending because of what you said. It fits the movie.
I think
Bleak's
Bleak
sad,
is different. Bleak
funny,
does not make you feel
scary.
like
It doesn't happy. It doesn't matter.
It has
to be a satisfying ending. It has to be an ending that is a logical conclusion to the
That's
story
my
you're
argument.
telling. That's why you
That's
don't
the
tell
argument.
stories like wait. That's why you don't tell stories like once upon a time there was a woman in a shoe, all the donuts and candy.
No, but what I'm saying is, to me, the
That's
definition
why.
of a truly bleak ending is when you are left feeling hollow, empty, and like, what? Seriously? Like, when you are left feeling that way, I feel like that's the antithesis of a bleak ending. Like, a good example is this. A good example is this. Last year, the movie, God damn it. I hate when I brain fart. Fuck. Damn it, man. It's the one about the guy and girl that are friends and are watching the TV show when they're kids, and then their friendship kind of, they kind of lose touch. She disappears and he finds the TV burning. I saw the TV glow. That movie is the antithesis of what I'm talking about, because the ending of it, I literally jumped out of my seat and was like, are you kidding me? That's it? They didn't wrap up anything. They didn't answer anything. What the fuck? It took me actually talking to a friend of mine and processing it for probably a couple of days before I realized that it was an incredible movie and that the ending was perfect for what the whole entire movie is trying to accomplish and what it's trying to say and what it's doing. It's just,
I haven't seen it.
It was above me. It was above my pay grade, so to speak. Like, it was cerebral, above my brain, at least in that moment. And yet I wouldn't say it's a bad ending, because I don't like it doesn't make it a bad thing when it comes to art. And that's a hard thing to get your head around for anybody, right? Because like, we want to say that we like something good, we don't like something bad. But when it comes to art, it isn't that simple.
Okay. I still say that the difference between a good ending and a bad ending to a movie, or what we can say is good or bad, is if it was satisfying.
That's not,
and satisfying is hard. Satisfying is hard to define, but I think if I saw the TV glow ended the way it does, and then, you sit with it and think about it, and then it makes sense, and then it clicks, then it's a satisfying ending. I'm not saying you don't have to spend some time chewing on something, but and somebody brought up The Mist in the chat, and I was going to say that's like a perfect example. The Mist had a perfectly satisfying ending.
Yeah, that is a good example.
Until
how is that a satisfying ending?
Until it ended. But that's what I mean. They had two endings. They had the one that was good, and then they had the way that it actually ends, and then it's like, that sucks. Now this movie is
and
bad,
it's one of the greatest endings ever.
Terrible ending. No, it's not. It's awful.
You're on crack, dude.
No, you are.
Everybody agrees that it is
the dumbest.
Dude, okay.
I don't care. Everybody's
that
wrong.
That is exactly my point. That is one of the best endings, because that entire movie,
dumbest fucking ending in cinema history.
No. Even Stephen King came out and said that he wishes he had thought of it.
You could have ended a movie. You could have, if George Lucas ended Star Wars.
If the writer of the actual story comes out and says that's a better ending than his, who are you to say it's a bad ending?
It's terrible. It's because it was the most cop out.
No,
piece of
you didn't like it.
Ending.
You didn't like it. There's a difference.
It's an awful.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ending.
That's that reptilian brain. That's like a fucking mouse with cheese. This is good. This is bad. It's not that simple with art, dude.
It worked for the Mist.
On this. That is like one of the greatest things ever.
It is already the biggest
ended
gut
punch. It is the biggest gut punch you could ever feel.
It's retarded.
No.
Yes.
Okay, no, hold on. Which Indian are we talking about? When he shoots everybody in the car?
After that.
How is that like? Because what happens after that, when the fucking military shows up, that is all part of the same thing. I feel like that's all part of that same gut punch, fucked up ending.
No, that's what makes it terrible, because it shows it takes away from the weight of his actions. It takes away the
No,
weight
it
from
adds
the
to it.
first one. It doesn't. No, it doesn't add to it.
I feel like it
Because-
adds to it. It makes everything so much more dark and bleak because he was just going to shoot himself. And that's the whole message of that ending. Is like, you can't give up hope. You have to keep fighting. And because he gave up hope, he didn't even get to be satisfied himself. He didn't even get to shoot himself and join his kid and all that. He has to be fucking stuck with that because he gave up. That's the whole point of that ending, man.
No. That ending takes the military showing up. Right,
you may not like it, but that does not make it a bad ending.
It takes away the entire. It's okay. Okay.
It has so much to say.
If you want, and so the ending, oh my God, I can't believe, and I have to go through this because I haven't watched The Mist in fucking years because of that ending. I have to like go
That's
through
what makes it so successful. Look how much it impacted you. You cannot say, like, that's
I don't watch garbage. I don't watch garbage over and over
again.
As an
artist.
No,
dude, as an artist, I didn't watch, man. That is the whole point of art. It doesn't matter.
Oh my God.
Is to affect people.
Okay. I put out something that's so
you
bad.
Should have
nobody
gotten
wants
that
to watch it again. That does not mean it's good. Because come on.
Okay, well done. It's that well done.
No, what? Oh, okay.
I mean, like, that's what. Are you saying that good and well done are the same, or are they separate?
No. I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying
because it's a shitty ending. It sucks, but it's super well done.
Good, if your movie is good, I would say, like, rewatchability of a film is a good thing for a movie to have because people want to watch it again.
No. Think about it, man. Some of the greatest movies ever made, you don't want to watch.
I'm not saying this applies across the board. I'm just saying it's nice. It's a good thing to have if your movie has rewatchability. If you want to watch,
there's so many movies that I think are like one of the best ever that I never want to rewatch because like they felt that shitty to be in that universe or whatever for that amount of time. Like there's a lot of great movies like that.
Yeah,
like a lot of those war movies, like Warfare. I don't know if I'd ever want to watch that again. I mean, I would if it was like, you know, same with The Mist. I would rewatch it if it was like I'm reviewing it or I need to write an article or, you know what I mean, talk about it or something like that.
Well,
but as far as like for enjoyment, I would never rewatch those. So
if you want to,
I agree with you. Like,
I agree with you. If you wanted to show somebody Warfare, you still wouldn't watch it.
I wouldn't want to. Like, I'm just saying, out of my own like want, I wouldn't want to. It's a fucking hard watch. It's like what's the other one with the guy who's an explosive expert? It's another one of those like just amazing war movies. But anyway, my point, there's a lot of movies like that. Citizen Kane, like a lot of movies that suck to be in that universe. They're hard to watch. They're hard to, and I'm not saying everybody should enjoy this kind of movie. It's not about enjoyment though. Like there's certain movies and certain things that are done in the field of cinema, like in cinema, right? That are not about enjoyment. They're a statement. Like Schindler's List. Who the fuck wants to rewatch Schindler's List? That movie's not about enjoyment. It's not about fun. So it's like different metric. Like if you're
right, but
compare,
I would watch,
but I would still say it's a great movie. It's like one of the. I wouldn't want to. I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it, but like I wouldn't want to. Like it's not fun. It's not enjoyable to watch.
I mean, yeah,
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like the ending of The Mist feels like that to me. It's not fun. It makes you angry. Like that's the point. You're supposed to be done watching The Mist super angry feeling because that means the movie is effective. Like you really feel it.
It made me roll my eyes and go, well, that was fucking dumb.
Most of us, it made super angry and pissed off. And that was the intention. And it, to me, was a fun ending. No. Good ending. No. But well done ending. Yes. Like it was as good as you can get, in my opinion, as far as a gut punch ending. Like not every movie should make a gut punch ending. And that's why I also think No Country for Old Men, where we started, I still think that's a good ending because it doesn't have a gut punch. It actually just has kind of a whimper, kind of a, and like that to me, Yeah, and in the case of that movie and like what they're trying to do, the entire movie kind of has that the color grade, everything has this like melancholy, almost depressing, just like feeling. And so like I think that that's an appropriate ending for that. I don't know what I'm not saying nobody can make a better ending. I'm not saying that, right? But I am saying that as far as what that movie was doing, I think that's a good ending. It fits kind of with the point of that entire movie, the way the entire movie is supposed to feel. But I'm big on feel, you know that. I'm much more on how does a movie make me feel versus like.
Right. And if a movie makes you feel angry at the end of it, and it's still a satisfying emotion to have, because
I don't think you ever feel satisfied if you're really angry and dejected feeling.
But you do. But if you're trying to tell a story, which is what movies are, it's visual storytelling. And if you're trying to tell
I want to know, like, am I on an island? I've always thought that.
No, you're not. I'm on the fucking island. Everybody in chat thinks The Mist was a good ending because reason.
Like most people consider it one of the greatest.
Tyler's new to the channel.
Ever.
Hi, Tyler. Way to have the same opinion everybody who's new to this channel has. Hi. Welcome to the channel.
Which side is he on? Does it show which side?
No, he's all pissed off. Yeah, no,
I'm always curious. Like, is he a ghost pirate side or is he a death rattle side?
I don't fucking. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's the same fucking thing everybody says when they're first introduced to me. Oh, DJ thinks he has the authority on anything. Yeah, welcome to the channel.
I think he's just having fun with us. I think a lot of people. Yeah, I don't think there's actual vitriol. Every now and then you'll get someone who actually dislikes you. Most of the time, people have fun being angry at you.
Do you know how many times I've read this comment? Well, that's fine. If he's having fun, then I'm having fun. But do you know how many times
that's what I mean. Like, I don't know if like these people actually hate you.
This Tyler Ends should probably be user number 20. Like that's how generic of a comment this is. I mean, I can scroll up. I can scroll up, but no, everybody thinks that The Mist is a good ending for dumb fucking reasons. Let me see here.
I love when you are like it's so funny to me when you are like so far off of the pulse of what most people think.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Like Lord of the Rings, right? Like me being a little lukewarm on Lord of the Rings is super out there on an island. Like most people think it's like one of the greatest movies ever, like you, right? And like I don't think, like, if I look at it like critique wise, I'm like, yeah, it's about as good as you could possibly. Like, I don't know if you could make a better fantasy movie, but it's just fantasy wasn't.
When you're telling a story, like I'm going to try to make this. I'm going to try to make this as clear as I can, because an ending doesn't.
No. Hold on. I really do get what you're saying. I just don't agree with you. Like, I don't think that that's true. I don't think.
Okay, so would an ending if the way Star Wars ended with, take the ending of Star Wars.
Which one?
If it doesn't matter, A New Hope, okay, or whatever you want to do. Like, I don't care. Just Star Wars. Okay.
Yeah.
If you took if every ending of the original trilogy, if you just changed that with the camera, with the close up of Luke Skywalker's ass, and you just see a huge turd fall out, and then credits roll, is that a good ending?
No, because it doesn't fit the tone or the filmmaker or what is it? What is it trying to say?
Exactly. So if the story,
I told you what the ending of The Mist is trying to say.
So what are you trying to say with The Mist? Okay, what are you trying to say with The Mist?
Driving home,
trying to say that you should have hope and you should constantly hold out. Then you don't kill and you have to kill your fucking family just so the military can come along. Like, that's not holding out hope. That's giving up.
Yeah, exactly. He gave up.
So that's not
the point. It's like, this is your punishment.
But you're trying to tell.
This is your punishment for giving up. This is your punishment for being weak. I mean, it's supposed to make you angry, dude. That's the point.
It is unsatisfying and is not congruent with the rest of the story of the film.
I just don't agree. I feel like it fits. That's why.
So then Luke Skywalker taking a shit at the end of Star Wars would be a satisfying ending to you.
That wouldn't fit. If you came up with an ending,
it doesn't matter. According to you, it doesn't have to fit. It doesn't have to fit.
No, but it does. That's apples to oranges because the Mist ending does fit. Like, we can't change each other's opinions on this because, like, I get what you're saying, but I also think, even regardless of what I think of the Mist, I still think you're wrong in the fact that you think that you could have a truly bleak ending of a. Okay, Speak No Evil. You've seen that, right?
I don't remember, so I'm going to say no.
Oh, come on. Have you not seen Speak No Evil with the it's like one of the hottest movies in the freaking last couple years. The one with the parents.
Wait,
They get invited.
Oh, yeah, no,
the family get invited. There was the American version last year.
Right.
I'm like,
I did
saw both, right?
I did not see the American version. I saw the
okay
Finnish version.
Yeah, that's even better. Okay, anybody here, if you have not seen the Dutch original version, turn this off because I'm going to spoil the shit out of the ending. And it is, without a doubt, one of the best made horror movies of the last couple years. Like, you may not like it as far as you honestly shouldn't like it. It's a shitty feeling movie, but it's super well done.
Which one?
Speak No Evil.
The new one.
Not the American one, the original one.
The original one. Yeah.
So at the ending of the movie, that is probably the darkest, bleakest ending of a movie I can think of. And so many people hated the ending of that movie and liked the American version more because it has more of a happy ending, right? It's a more traditional bullshit ending. And like, I'm not hating on the American version. I actually thought it was decent. Like, it was a lot better than I expected it to be. But to me, as far as a filmmaker goes, dude, Speak No Evil, the original, is so much fucking better because of that bleak ending. You know, with the parents both being stoned to death. Like, you do not get more bleak than that. Their daughter is ripped away from them. They are completely helpless, can't do anything about it. And then they are stoned to death, standing next to each other naked, and can't do anything about that. Like, that is awesome. It fits so well with the narrative, with the look of the movie, the feel of the movie.
Yes, I agree. And
that's as bleak as you can possibly be. How in the hell is that a satisfying ending?
Because the entire movie was made to show that people will do things so long as you allow them. And if you allow them to do things
that's not exactly
too long, if you allow them to do things too long, then they're going to get too much power to where if you try to stop them, now they can't, now you can't. And so even though it's bleak, it's still satisfying because you're like, yeah, this is what can happen. It sucks, but this is what can happen.
It's a cautionary tale.
Yeah. So that's fine.
And that's what I'm saying.
I would say that's the
exact same meaning as the ending of The Mist, because it's like,
no.
If you give up hope,
no,
and you're weak in this moment, these hard moments, this is the consequences. You know, just like Speak No Evil, the whole idea of it is in the UK, there's this politeness. There's this, everybody is like overly polite to a fault. And a lot of times people can find themselves being taken advantage of and stuff in a lot of European cultures. And so that's where the movie is birthed out of. That's the point of the movie, right? Is to like show that you can't just fucking turn the other cheek. You can't just always be weak and don't want to upset, don't want to rock the cradle. You know what I mean? Don't want to, you always want to be polite in all situations and not put your foot down, not stand up for yourself, whatever.
Yeah.
This is the consequences. The Mist is the same kind of thing where it's like, if you are weak in the face of evil, if you're weak in the face, and that's the whole point of The Mist, like the book, is if is the face of evil, this is right here. You have to stand up against it. Because the original evil in that movie is the religious lady, remember? And she's the one, like, you have to stand up to her. She tries to take the boy and all that. He stands up to her. And then at the end, it's the one last challenge to face, which the ending of the book isn't the same. And that's why Stephen King said this ending was better, because it drove home the point of his book even more, like what he was trying to say in the book, right? This ending of killing the kid, because they didn't do that in the book, right? He doesn't shoot the kid in the book.
Was there any, because again, it's been over 10 years since
I'm like spoiling the shit out of these movies, and I never spoil movies, so I do feel bad.
Hopefully, well, I put the spoiler alert. I put the spoiler alert banner up for the.
I know, but we spoiled The Mist.
The Mist is so fucking old. Okay, like it's fine. I know. But here's the thing.
And if you haven't seen the American Speak No Evil, I didn't spoil it. It's got a totally different ending.
So So, fuck, I just lost my train of thought. In the Mist, because again, I haven't seen this movie for over 10 years. Is there any indication at all that there could be the military out there and there's no more monsters, or not there's no more, but like there
prior to him running out of gas. Like prior to them being stuck there. Because prior to them being stuck there, the whole point is we're going to drive out into the mist and try to find other survivors, try to find, you know what I mean? But then when he breaks down and they're surrounded by this, there's no other way, he gives up.
But it's not.
And like he doesn't even get the satisfaction to kill himself because he goes and puts the gun to his head and there's no bullets.
He's faced with the choice. Do you let your family get ripped apart by these monsters, or do you do you not let them suffer?
Yeah, and that's what's so heart-wrenching about it. And like so, that's what puts you into that.
Right.
DJ, that's what puts you in that moment because you would be in that same situation of having to make that impossible decision. Like,
right. And so
if you can't think of a more impossible one than killing your kid.
So if you end the movie there, and you can even end it right after it clicks and then the credits roll, it's just like, oh fuck. You know, like he had to make this terrible choice. It was a more heroic choice. And now the credits roll, but then you add in.
There's no heroes. That's kind of the point. Like there is no hero.
That's a way more heroic choice to make. If you're faced with that choice, it's way more heroic to do that than to let your kids be eaten by fucking monsters.
But it's different if his kid was in the mouth of a monster. If it's like getting crunched on and he blows its head off, it doesn't. He literally gives up. He lets the situation, the whole movie, he's been strong and fighting back. And then he's in this, like, it's like the Dante's Inferno where you're at your last level, right? And he, instead of just one more time is all he had to do. One more time, be strong. And there's the military to save them all. And that one time is what got him. Because the whole thing is kind of a religious allegory.
If you don't know that that's out there, that's what I'm trying to say. If you don't even know that it's out there, why are you going to even risk that? What if the
whole story is kind of like the temptation of Christ?
Your kid out of the car, huh?
The whole thing is like an allegory. It's like a temptation of Christ. It's like the whole thing of him having to be strong in the face of evil. Like that's the whole idea of it. And so that's why I think that's a perfect ending, because it really drives home the message, which is you cannot give up. You cannot give in, no matter how dark and how hard things may be. You can never give up. You can never give in.
I got to watch it again. I got to watch The Mist again so that I can come back with my thesis because I'm literally having to recall everything from a movie that I saw like over 10 years ago. So I'm at a disadvantage here, but I felt so strongly about that.
I honestly think if you rewatch it, you will, because you're hard-headed, you'll still be like, I still think it's a bad ending, but you will give some. You'll come back being like, all right, it wasn't quite as bad as I thought. Yeah. Because like I get why back when you first saw it, because here's why I'm different. Because I would have told you up until like maybe two or three, a couple years ago, right? I would have said the same thing. The worst ending ever. I think I even said it in a video, like one of my earlier videos, that it was the worst ending I'd ever seen. Like I fucking hated that ending. But the reason I have a different tone now is two things. One, I have to dive under the levels of movies. I have to, like, I watch movies like you do now. We watch them through like a filter, you know, like we do critique them, even though I still don't call myself a critic, right? We both still critique movies. And so there's that. The second one is I rewatched it. So I rewatched it through that new lens of me looking at a movie as a piece of art and not just for entertainment. Because that movie hits you hard in the gut. It's a shitty feeling. It leaves you feeling angry and like, fuck that movie. I think I even remember like leaving the theater like pissed off, like just actually yelling. Like I remember being that angry at the ending of that movie. And so like I can think of you back when it came out, or, you know, when you saw it 10 years ago, or whatever, feeling that way, and that still lingering in you. Yeah, because you probably saw it like most of us when it came out.
It was an old movie.
It had a lot of hype around it. I mean, like everybody, because of that ending. That ending was a big part of why everybody was like, you got to fucking see that movie. Partly because there's that thing that we all have where we like to laugh at people's torment. It's like a lot of people telling people to go watch The Coffee Table, and me over here being like, don't watch it unless you're ready for a fucking, brutal time.
Okay.
Like,
do you want me to
this
go
girl
through these
I was
chats?
talking to, someone fucking told her to watch, oh fuck, what's it called? It's considered like the most fucked up movie ever made, where the dude like does stuff with the baby and offends.
Oh,
like
a Serbian film?
Yeah. He fucking told her, she was like, what's a good horror movie? And he told her to watch fucking Serbian film.
It's not
No
even a good
warning.
movie.
No, it's not a good movie. And this is what I've argued for years.
Just
People are
some
always
fucking
like,
Edward.
why don't you ever talk about the Serbian film? Like, because it's trash, dude.
Yeah,
It's
'cause it
like,
sucks.
it's nothing to do with it like being too offensive. I've talked about Human Centipede, but like I won't talk about Human Centipede 2 or 3 because they're trash.
Yeah. Human Centipede's not
But
even
like,
really that good.
like Cannibal Holocaust. I finally talked about it when I was talking about my best found footage movies of all time. And I said straight up in it, I don't like it. I don't think it's that great of a movie, but it's a pioneer. And because of it being literally the first, it's, on my list. It has to be. None of these would exist without it. Right. But like, it's not a good movie. Like if you rewatch, like, unless you've not seen a lot of horror. And so like, I understand if you saw Cannibal Holocaust back when it came out, I do understand it affecting you a lot, right? But like if you watch it now,
I don't know, man. If you know about it, it's still pretty gnarly.
What? Cannibal Holocaust?
Cannibal Holocaust.
Green Inferno is way more, like, to me anyway. I thought Green Inferno did the same thing.
You're essentially watching an animal snuff film when you're watching Cannibal Holocaust.
No. That's different. That is
right. So that's what I mean.
awful.
Like that's still going to affect you.
That's why I don't talk about it. Like that is, the Serbian film I don't talk about, not because it's not a great movie, which is, part of it, but the main reason is because of there's literally pedophilia in it. Like I'm not going to fucking talk about that. I'm not going to promote it. You know what I mean? On my channel. And then Cannibal Holocaust is the same thing. I will not talk about it, not because I don't think it's that good, which I don't, but I won't talk about it because they straight up are killing animals in it. And that's just for the sake of entertainment. That's like fucked up. It's different when we have these, like, all these food channels or documentaries or things like that. And you're killing an animal because they're killing it to show culture and
purpose,
food. And even that, sometimes I'm a little bit like, you can like,
we don't have to talk about it. It's fine. Like
one of the guys, he like doesn't show that. I forget. I think it was Anthony Bourdain, where he wouldn't show the actual killing of the animal. Like you knew that they were killing this cow for the feast,
right?
But he wouldn't show them actually killing it because, then that because that would almost still be for entertainment. You know what I mean? But like he would still infer that did it. And I'm fine. And like, I'm fine with CGI animal killing. I don't understand people. I do warn people a lot of times, like the frog in, what's it called? I just talked about it not long ago, but that one vampire horror movie where they literally blow up a fucking frog. Like it's not a real frog. So I still warned people though, because there's a lot of people that get mad at me in the comments that are like, don't recommend a movie and not tell me about this animal. But I'm like, it's CGI. Or in this case, it was literally a plastic. Like if you really blew up a fucking bullfrog, it would.
Don't watch The Thing.
Yeah, well, no, there's a lot of people that won't watch it because of that.
Yeah.
And it's
all right.
Like,
do you want me to go through these chats, or are we just gonna kind of like?
Yeah.
You want me to? God, there's so many. It's gonna start the argument all over again.
That's fine.
Get out of here.
I just want 5:30 or 8:30.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we're going to go another hour if I start reading some of these.
No, we'll make a hard out at 6. So you got 29
fine.
minutes.
I got 29 minutes to read 100 comments. All right.
Wherever we get to.
We're going back. I'm going back a half hour.
I'm not saying go all the way back. I'm just saying like, we'll read the comments for the next half hour, wherever we get. No, don't go all the way back. Go back like about 15 minutes so that we get the last like, and that way we can get caught up by the end roughly.
Okay. All right. 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
So sorry if we didn't get to all your comments. Hopefully the channel will continue to get bigger and the podcast will stream, whatever, will continue to get bigger, and there'll be a point where we never can get to all your comments, but we still do our best.
Yeah, I would love to be able to only have to do super chat roundups.
Yep, I know that makes it so much easier. People don't understand. Yes, it's cool because it's money, but what people don't understand is it organizes it, so it makes it way easier. It's like they're highlighted, and you're like, I'm just getting to those, and the order they come in.
All right. Anyway, okay. Nightingale Widow says Melancholia has a depressing ending, but a fantastic movie. Played Out says no.
Well, yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
Even DJ, neither of us are arguing that a movie has to have a happy ending.
No, I'm not saying a movie has to have a happy ending.
Yeah, that's not the ending. That's not the argument we're having.
It just has to be satisfying.
He doesn't think that. I don't think that. Yeah, we're talking and that's where it's difficult, because the question is really, if you really boil down what we're arguing, is what is satisfying, like and that's what's tough for you to get me to understand as well, because it's really difficult for you to explain to me what your definition of satisfying is, because satisfying is kind of a personal thing. It's kind of like scary. Like, how do you fucking, who's to say what scary is? It's hard for everybody to agree on certain,
No, I get that.
like, arbitrary feelings, you know what I mean? And satisfying is kind of that. It's,
Yes, defining words is hard sometimes, especially when you have to deal with, especially when you're dealing with art, and I get it. But
this is the time of the podcast
I'm
where
trying here. I'm trying. But yeah, okay. So
this is where I defend you, and I'm like, no, he's my partner. He may be a dumbass, but I'm still gonna defend him.
So
someone the other day, I don't even remember who I was talking to, but they were like, I love your podcast, but your co-host is kind of a dumbass sometimes. I'm like, yeah, but that's what makes him great. Like, that's why our conversations are fun, because we both have our things that don't make sense, like, about us.
Listen,
like
I can
that whole Siskel and Ebert thing. Like,
you can
Siskel
call
and
me
Ebert would have been no fun if they both didn't have their dumbass moments.
You can call me a dumbass all you want, but if that's your only argument against my opinion, that
he didn't actually call you. That's my word. I forget what he actually called. He didn't call you a name.
I understand.
Yeah.
But no, I will go head to head with anybody who wants to make an actual argument. But if all you're going to say is you're a dumbass, like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that's why we can argue, because I don't ever just be like dumbass ever.
All right, let me get through these. No, honest, Schindler effing List in a bar. Man, how about something a little lighter, for fuck's sake? So I guess somebody was playing Schindler's List in a bar. Dude, sometimes they don't have control of what's going on.
I know. Like, well, my guess is that it was just on TV. So like they had it, on TBS. That I remember that happening back in the day when I worked at a pizza place, right? We would turn the TV on, and like, a customer would request we put it on TBS for whatever, right? For their cartoons or whatever. And like halfway through the day, I'd look over and I'd see some shit like that on the TV. You're like, oh, we need to change that. That's why most places like that, the rule of thumb is sports, because like, and that's why I said TBS, because it probably was like on a basketball game, and then the game ended and Schindler's List came on.
Right. Citizen Sleep says super fucking dumb is a ridiculous statement for The Mist. Are we talking about pixels? No idea what's happening. Okay. Mike Fuller says, hey, Kay. Vorpal Bite says Passion of the Christ. No satisfaction whatsoever. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, like, see, I actually think that movie, the ending is very satisfying.
It is a very satisfying ending. Yes. Like, it's like,
I mean, and that one's one of those, like the whole Jesus story. Like, it's all, I mean, it is a story. Sorry, guys, if that's against your beliefs, you believe it's real, whatever. To me, it's a story. And
you've heard of true stories, though, haven't you, Kanan?
I know, but I think it's a story of fiction.
It can be both.
I know what I'm getting at is it's a well-written story. You can't say a true story is a well-written story because it's a true story.
Yes, you can.
So like that's why I prefaced this by saying, for me, it's a story.
I can tell you
fiction.
A true story that's dumb or bad. Still true.
No, I'm saying you can't have a well-written true story, because that's just it is what it is. Like, it's a true story.
Yes, are we about to fight about this? You can have a well-written true story and a badly written true story.
You can't have a well-written narrative, is what I'm saying. Like the Bones. You can't have that because it's true. So it just it might happen to have a good conclusion, or it just might leave you hanging. Like if you're telling a true story about something that hasn't ended, you know what I mean? Like,
okay, all right.
like if you were to, that's why,
no, I want to move on.
It's tough to write a true story because you have to figure out where, like, what time frame you want to like begin and end. That's why so many documentaries and things. That's one of my problems with a lot of them is they'll leave things out, or a biopic is a better example. They'll leave things out because they want a good narrative. Like, fuck, what was it? With the brothers, the wrestling brothers, super amazing movie, but it made me mad. Iron Claw, super good movie. But it made me mad after the fact when I found out the things that they changed, because I get it. It made for a better, more clean movie, but they like literally took two brothers and morphed them together to make them into one person in the movie. And it's like, that's actually two different brothers. Like, you're saying this is a true story, but then you literally take two humans and combine them for the movie. Like, that's what bothers. So that's what I mean by you can't have a well-written true story. Like, you can do a good job of writing it, but I'm talking about the narrative. If it's actually a true story, it might be good. It might end up being satisfying. Okay, that's a better way to put it. That's a better way to put it. You can't control if you have a satisfying ending, is what I'm getting at, right? With a true story. And I think the Jesus story is a satisfying narrative, and I think it's fiction, but it's has like that story arc to it. Like at any point when you take the Jesus story, it kind of has a nice closed loop, right? Is what it's called when you have full circle. Yeah. Yes. It has a nice closed loop, which is part of why I and a lot of other people think it's a story, because true stories don't always have a nice closed loop, is the point I was getting at.
Okay. B Movie Theater says, I want to be user number 20.
Because even if it is true, it's definitely been changed to be a more interesting story.
Okay. Played Out says, I prefer Life of Brian.
Iron Claw. See? Closed loop.
Seiya says,
closed loop.
Seiya says, I think we love when DJ gets the fury. Yes, a lot of people do.
It's all right. We're gonna have a lot of people coming after me now because of religion.
That's all right. Citizen Sleeve, DJ, you're talking about
politics.
You're talking about obvious, typical, happy Hollywood endings. No, I'm not. Welcome to the fucking world with the mist. My God. Yeah, no, I'm not. And this is why people get so mad at me, because they don't fucking listen to me. I don't know how many times.
No. Don't say that.
I don't know how many times I had to say.
It's not that they're not listening; they're not understanding.
Okay, fine. They're not.
People get always insulted when you say that to them, but more people need to hear that. We don't all understand everything. It doesn't mean we're dumb, and it doesn't mean they're not. It doesn't mean you're not listening, and it doesn't mean you're dumb. Sometimes you just don't understand everything that someone is saying.
But I've literally said three times.
But that specific comment right there, he did not understand what you were saying. I promise you, it's Citizen Sleep. I promise you, he was listening. He may have not, like, you're going back a little bit too, so maybe you hadn't completely
15 minutes
flushed out what you're saying.
But before that, I mean, we've been arguing about this for at least a half hour, at least 40 minutes.
I'm just saying, I don't think that he's not listening. I think he just doesn't understand.
An ending doesn't have to be happy in order for it to be good. I don't know how many times I said that. It can be bad. It can be bleak. Like I said it like 3 fucking times. Okay.
I know it's your definition was satisfying. We boiled it down to that.
Yes.
That point, but that's where it's difficult, because what is satisfying to you is not to me necessarily, and vice versa.
Yes, and you can have an argument there on what is a satisfying ending, but like we don't have the show for that right now. Prop Dude says, sequel trilogy made me feel something all right. The rage of cultural vandalism. Yeah.
What is he talking about?
It's talking about I'm pretty sure Prop Dude's talking about the sequel trilogy of the Star Wars.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You talking about the remake that they tried to say were sequels?
Right, exactly.
Like I've never walked out of a movie more disgusted, because I'm like, why couldn't they have just said that? Like, just fucking said that it's New Hope, right? Is that the first one of the new 3? Like, why couldn't they have just simply said this is like a,
this
that's
is just our
like
shitty retelling of A New Hope?
Well, that's why I at least have a little respect for the new thing where they're calling them requels, where they're like not exactly a sequel, but they're not exactly a reboot. Like, I like that, like what Scream did, because then you're like, you're basically doing the same thing all over again. But that's fine. At least you respect me enough to tell me that you're kind of rebooting this.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when things try to be like, we're a sequel, we're adding on. Like, no, you're not adding anything. This is the exact same movie again.
So Rusty says, man, this is getting heated. It does sometimes, but we still love each other, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's all about mostly it's about what mood that I'm in.
Vorpal Bite says, Mist did not make me angry or mad. I felt sad.
You felt something though, and that's my point.
You felt something. Like, Tyler says you
had
a
satisfying ending. A satisfying ending to me is you feeling affected.
Saya says, let's all give DJ a big hug. Yes, I love hugs. B Movie Theater says Jar Jar Binks taking a shit at the end of Star Wars would have been great. Maybe.
Dude, I would have.
The argument could be made.
I would. I know. I would. That would have been pretty fucking funny. Like, it wouldn't have fit the rest, but it would have been at least doing something that would have been interesting. And that was also what I was getting at too, is like, that's why endings are so hard, because it's like you can either do the predictable ending, that's a safe one, so to speak, but you're not breaking any ground, or you can try to do something different. And sometimes those don't land with everyone. Like, that's what I was saying about, No Country for Old Men, is they were trying to do something different. It was trying to, like, not just simply give you this all fun, happy, satisfying ending, but more of like this bleak, like, just it's over. Like, like there's some movies that do that, where it's like going along, feeling like it's not over, and all of a sudden it's just like roll credits. You're like, what?
Heather Son,
when I said they're impossible, what I meant by that was they're impossible to please everyone with. Like an ending,
yes, you're obviously not going to please everyone.
To please everybody.
I get that. I understand.
Hence The Mist. The majority of us think it's a masterpiece ending, and you think it's trash.
Yes. Heather says again, you may take
full circle.
You may take the boy out of Ohio, but you can't take the Ohio out of the boy.
Full circle.
I don't know what that means, Heather, but yeah, probably. I'm still a fucking Yank.
I'm trying to do a full circle.
I know. I see you. I don't know. Rusty says Speak No Evil was good, but I like the remake. Vorpal says Martyrs,
a lot of people did.
Is the bleakest ending I know.
Yep. And that is one of the best endings. And I know I've heard a lot of people that hate that ending. And I'm not saying you should like it. It's not fun. It's definitely not happy. But it's, to me, one of the most powerful endings of anything because of how deep and profound it is. But it's also one that I know for a fact that ending has flown over a ton of people's heads. It flew over my head the first time I saw it, like, back in the day.
Prop dude has a brain.
What do you think of the ending of Martyrs?
He said, well, hang on. I'm reading Prop dude's comment. It says it was perceived mercy that flipped to despair and sadness that made it feel cruel to the character and the audience. That's why the ending sucks. Very good explanation, Prop dude.
But that doesn't make it.
Thanks for having a brain.
That doesn't make it suck. That just means that you don't like how it made you feel.
No, it's a bad ending.
No, it just simply makes you not like how you feel. That does not mean it's bad. And it certainly doesn't make it not satisfying. It just
when the
means
movie is
you
older,
personally didn't like the ending. Like, there's two ways of looking at this, right? If you're looking at it like we talked about earlier, as a fan and on your enjoyment level and all that, that's one thing. But if you're looking at it through the critical lens, like being, critiquing it, like that's what I'm talking about.
Careful.
It's not a unsatisfying ending. It's just an ending you may not.
Well,
like.
I have to watch it again and actually like write what my thoughts and like maybe they'll change, but I don't think they will. But I still have.
What did you think of Martyrs though? The ending of Martyrs.
I don't think I saw it.
You've never seen Martyrs, the French movie?
I don't think so. Unless, hang on, 2015
With the is that the I thought
or,
there's a remake that's trash.
or 2008.
Yeah, 2008. Yep, the French one.
Okay, I don't think I've seen this.
Because I saw it probably 10 or more years ago and then rewatched it about 2 years ago. I'm like, it's a fucking masterpiece, dude, but it is such a hard watch. It's one of the hardest watches I've ever, I mean, you're basically for most of the movie or for a good half of it watching a girl being tortured. Like it's
a young woman's quest for revenge against the people who kidnapped and tormented her as a child leads her and her friend who's also been about child abuse on a terrifying journey to living hell of depravity. That one?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's
I'll
like
watch it.
It's not at all what it seems to be on the surface. Like I said, like to me, it's such a good ending because the entire rest of the movie, like the ending makes that movie. It's one of those where for 90 minutes or whatever, for like all of the runtime up until the final, like maybe 10 minutes, you're just like, I just basically watched like a snuff film. Like I'm just watching this awful shit happen to this poor girl and it fucking sucks. But then that final like 10 minutes of it, what it says, where it goes, like all of that, it's so satisfying in it because it clicks it all together and you're just like, this is so fucked up and depraved, but at the same time, like that's fucking deep and cerebral and like wow. It's one of the most wow endings of a movie I've seen.
Citizen says, I just want to be on this podcast. I have so much to say. We'll start one. DJ, what about Night of the Living Dead?
I know that feeling though. Like I know that feeling. That's why I have a hard time watching live streams a lot of times because I'm always like, fuck, like when they're looking for an answer to something and I can't answer them.
But
at least we like read your comments.
Huh?
I said at least we read a lot of the comments. Like
right.
A lot
That's
of
what's so awesome about our podcast.
Get to any of them.
That's me. So, Citizen, I'm like you. Some of the live streams that I watch, I am like on fire in their comment section. They never read me. Yep. But I'm still because I have to say things. But I get it. But hey, I mean, like, yeah. So no, Night of the Living Dead is a good ending. I don't know. It's incomparable to The Mist.
No, I didn't spoil Jamal. I did not spoil the ending of Martyrs.
Hang on, wait. I'm getting there. I'm almost there. Like, John says, DJ, I'd say no. While at the supermarket scene are the creatures. Yeah. So this is when I asked if there's any evidence at all that there's something else out there. Okay. Rusty says,
I mean, it's the whole reason they left the supermarket. You know what I mean? Like, if there's no hope, then why do you leave the supermarket?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I don't want to talk about The Mist anymore until I fucking rewatch it. B Movie Theater says thesis incoming. Yeah. I have to watch Martyrs. I know. I see that. Okay, let me see here. Blah blah blah. Jamal says I love The Coffee Table. Yes, it was a good movie. Everybody's talking about Martyrs.
Did you finally watch The Coffee Table?
No, I still haven't seen it.
You need to watch that movie.
I know, man. I know I'm behind on everything. I know. I get it. I get it. And
you got a tough double feature right there. The Coffee Table and Martyrs. Like, oh,
yeah.
I don't know if you could do it. I don't know if. I mean, I guess anybody could. But like,
I'm just gonna wake up. I'm just gonna wake up after watching those
fucking days, man. Because those are two of the most.
Rusty loved the Serbian film. So Rusty loved the Serbian film.
What did you love about the Serbian film? Like, it's not the greatest quality in any way.
John says, I like to work
out. Shot great. The acting isn't great. Like, what did you like about the Serbian film? Like,
John says, I like to work out.
Yeah, it has a gut punch, right? That's cool. But if you want a gut punch of an actual good movie that's something similar, watch Kill List. Like, Kill List, super gut punch, but a really well done movie. Like, it's doing similar what the Serbian film, like the underlying story or whatever, it's kind of similar, but it's actually well done, well acted, like it looks great, like super good movie. That's Kill List.
B Movie Theater says he might be a dumbass, but he's my dumbass. I don't think DJ's a dumbass. Well, thanks, B Movie. I appreciate it. Chris says too many sequels about God.
There's such
Saya
a
says,
that movie.
I love that the universe put Kanan and DJ together. Best collab yet.
That's what's funny about the Bible is that there hasn't been a sequel. Like they stopped.
Okay,
they're like, we're done. We
this?
got it. We're good. 2,000 years ago.
This isn't a horror. This isn't a horror movie.
I mean, I guess the Book of Mormon would be kind of a sequel, right?
Have you seen Hamlet 2?
No, I heard that it exists though.
Dude,
but like there's not a second book, so how is there a second movie?
That's the point. Watch it. It's so good. It's so good.
That's like there's a movie called Titanic 2.
Hamlet 2. Watch Hamlet 2. It's so good. It's so good.
Is it taking it serious or is it a spoof?
No, it's got that Coogler guy in it, right? What's his name? Hang on. I'm looking it up. Stephen Coogan. That's it. It has a Stephen Coogan in it. It says a failed actor turned worse high school drama teacher rallies his Tucson, Arizona
this is a comedy
as he conceives and stages a politically incorrect musical sequel to Shakespeare's Hamlet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so the movie is about him. Okay. No. I thought like I would have liked it like Titanic 2 is actually taking it serious.
Oh no! Yeah,
like
no.
Actually, try to make a sequel to the Titanic.
Yeah, no. But you need to see Hamlet 2. This movie is.
Yeah,
I want to watch it again now. Like it's so great. All right, let me see here. Heather says, I heard they changed Iron Claw so it wouldn't be sadder. It is a sad story already, but
no, that was their excuse. Like I get it was not that it wouldn't be sadder, but it's just there was so much tragedy. Like as crazy as it is in the movie, like the real life, it was like even more fucked up stuff. And so like that's consolidated the two brothers into one is like because in reality each one of them went through a bunch of other fucked up stuff. So like, I get it, but I think it's more to do with narrative. Like they said that, but I think it's more to do with like, you're trying to make a movie at the end of the day, even though it is based on a true story, you're still trying to make a narrative, a story. And that's what I meant by an actual true story can't be like, by nature, it might end up that way. It might end up being satisfying.
You need to take some creative licensing even with true stories sometimes. Like, I get
that's what I was talking about. It's like if it's actually true, there's a good chance it's going to be a little more sloppy. Life isn't actually as nice and clean as stories, even ones that are technically based on the true story or biography or whatever.
What's up, Gory Tiger? I'm getting closer to the end of these comments. Jamal says, quit playing, DJ. You've seen Martyrs. I have not seen it. He also says he owns Martyrs on DVD. I will watch it. Don't worry.
I don't know if I would ever own Martyrs. That's a movie I would never. I don't think I would. I mean, I've watched it twice, but like I can't. But it was like I felt like I had basically forgotten it, and I was like I wasn't even sure if I had seen it until I was like into it, and then I'm like, yeah, I've seen this, but I still don't remember much of it. But yeah, it's not a rewatchable movie. Like it's fucking rough.
Okay, I'm at the end of the comments. Other than Book of Mormon, not a sequel, it's a spinoff. Rock Me Sexy Jesus, Hamlet 2 is so funny. Oh god, it is. Hamlet 2 is, Serbian film is a metaphor about the Yugoslavian war. Okay.
That doesn't make it a good movie. I mean, like that idea could be good. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it.
Yeah, that doesn't make it a good movie.
And I still don't even see how that, like, I'm not saying you're wrong because you probably have more information than me on this, but like, because I don't know much about it. But like, I don't see how in any way, like, how is that a metaphor for that? Like that, yeah.
So they did a remake of Martyrs?
Yeah.
Okay.
American remake. It's one of the weirdest ones.
Don't watch that.
No, it's the same thing, but it's just like my issue. It's even worse though, but it's my same issue with Speak No Evil, where you're taking this European version, or in the case of Martyrs, a French version, where it's super extreme, super brutal, and that's why it hits so, or a part of why it hits so hard, right? And then you're dumbing it down and making it less abrasive, less, and making an American version. Like I just that I hate that. Like that bothers me. Like sometimes we can do that. Like we got away with it with The Ring, because I think The Ring is better than Ringu. Like,
I also think so.
Yeah.
Everybody wants
Yeah, a
to
lot of
jump
people
on this
argue that.
bandwagon. Oh, the Japanese movies are better. They're not. Okay, they're
No.
not.
Well,
Even
I mean,
the
I'm not-
American
okay.
Grudge is better.
Yeah, I agree. But like, there's probably other ones though, because isn't there like, because there was a number of other ones that probably the Japanese versions were better. Because there was like the Signal.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
One, is it called Signal? But there is a couple other ones that definitely weren't very good movies, and the Japanese versions are like classics. But like, as far as those two, I agree. I think that their American versions were better. Like, Ringu is not a bad movie. It just doesn't hit as hard. I mean, like, every scene of Ringu just doesn't hit as hard as The Ring. Yeah. Like, even the beginning of it with the two, like, little bit younger girls, like, that scene is like, in The Ring, I feel like it hits harder because they're more of these teenage girls. They're more attractive. Like, you're watching this and like, it just doesn't hit as hard when it's these little, like, strangely aged 13, maybe 14-year-olds. Like, something about it just doesn't feel as grisly and like gritty. Like, The Ring feels more gritty the whole entire movie. Like, and that's a rare thing. Most of the time, like, the American versions are the more dumbed down, censored feeling versions. And that's what I'm talking about. And like, nothing is more like that than Martyrs. Martyrs is like, because Martyrs, I mean, is famously, it's one of the more famous of the French extremist movies. Like, I forget all of them. There's like, I think it's like 10 different movies that are considered the front part of the French extreme or something like that. But
damn it,
Martyrs
Devil,
is like one of the biggest.
I was just about to bring this up. He says, just like Old Boy, the Korean version was good, American version shit. I didn't think the American version was shit. Or have I just not seen the American version?
Most people don't think the American version of that was very good, dude.
I thought Old Boy, let me hang on. Let me look it up.
Isn't that with Bronson?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, most people, because it doesn't hit nearly as hard. Like, it ends up basically just being an action movie. I don't remember if I've seen it or not, or if I'm just going based on whatever reviews and things, but I remember most people being like, it's just like an action movie. It doesn't have any of the near hit. Like, it's because Old Boy hits so hard because of the ending of that movie.
Yeah, right. And that's also a great ending. I have not seen,
and I don't even know if they do that. I don't know if the American one even does that. The whole incest
Spike Lee
thing. I don't even know
the American version. Spike Lee directed the American. Jeez.
Oh, well, then they probably do.
I'm gonna watch it. But I
just remember people being like lukewarm on it. Like, I don't remember a lot of hate for it. Like, the Martyrs remake, there's nothing but hate. Like, everybody's like, don't watch it. It's garbage. It's fucking censored down garbage.
And it's Josh Brolin. Or Brolin, however you want to say his last name.
Brolin,
Josh Brolin, yeah.
Yeah, because his dad was famous too. He's got a good fucking series. I need to watch the second season. It's out on Prime now. Like, there's this rancher. Shut up. There's this rancher who has like this weird hole that just opens up on his property. It's called like Outer Range, I think. But it's really fucking cool because, like, that's the setup. And it's like, shit just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. It's like, it gets sci-fi, but I don't know. Like, it's just cool. And the possibilities feel like endless with just this hole, this void that you don't know if it's like a time travel, like a black hole. You don't know if it's like, you know what I mean? Like, if things go in there and die, or kind of like a real black hole. It's kind of that premise where nobody has come back or nothing's come back from going into the hole. So, like, you don't know, if it's teleporting or disintegrating or. I was just watching this whole thing with Brian Cox, who's like one of the most famous theoretical physicists, and he was talking about what we know about black holes right now, and it's fucking wild, dude. Like, talk about mind expanding stuff that is way more insane than any sci-fi movie. like the realities of what a black hole could actually be or what they mean is insane.
Yeah.
It's like
I
we're
had a
finding
movie
that there's radiation coming out, but it's like a different form of radiation. And so we're starting to believe that things that go into a black hole are transmuted, or like that they don't cease to exist, but that maybe they change their formula, their you know what I mean? Like, because all humans are is or anything, any matter, it's just a group of cells or whatever they're, you know, and so like,
right.
or atoms that are all, you know, have a roadmap of how to stick together sort of thing.
I mean, you got to think about the density of a black hole, like what that does at the atomic level, being so dense that light can't escape. Like,
but that's the thing is we thought nothing could escape. And that's been the going theory, is that nothing can escape, so that it basically works like a vacuum. We don't know what happens to anything that goes into it, but we just know that there is no escaping from it. Everything, including light, is sucked into it. Like once you get, you know, to the what's it called? The boundary zone. Where
event horizon.
Once you get to the event horizon, I should have known that. Or I do.
Awesome movie.
Yep, one of my favorites. But anyway, once you get to the event horizon, nothing escapes. Everything is bound for the whole. But they're finding that there's this weird form of radiation that is coming out. It appears like it's coming out of it. And so like nobody knows what that means exactly, especially because we don't really know what radiation is. Like there's a lot of these really trippy things that, you know, we don't know. Like we all act like, oh yeah, it's just radiation. But then it's like, if you really break down and this and that, like it's a form of energy, but it's kind of like, I was just watching this whole thing on getting put under, like for surgery. And like, we don't even understand how that works. We don't understand why it works. Yeah.
I have I have a script that I wrote about a scientist who manages to create an artificial black hole and wants to use it for like energy production. But it actually rips a hole in the time-space continuum, and then shit starts happening. It's my version essentially of From Beyond and In the Mouth of Madness.
There's a certain size that a black hole has to be before it's basically
right,
because basically black holes burn themselves out. So there's a certain size that I forget what it is, but like it has to be at least that size or it'll just snuff itself out. But if it reaches a certain size, then it's like unstoppable. It just continually grows. And that's why at the core of every universe, there's a black hole, but it doesn't really get any bigger because it's at a stable size. Basically, like anything above this size, it's unstoppable. It'll eat everything. Anything below this size, it'll just burn itself out. So because of, you know, a black hole is just a star. It's a star that goes
tits up.
Yeah. But no, dude, like, have you ever been put under for surgery or anything?
Yes, when I was 8 years old and I got my tonsils out.
It's just the most bizarre thing because they're not sure if it's like it's turning off our, like who we are, you know what I mean? Like our soul, our consciousness, whatever you want to call it, right? We're not sure if it's turning that off or if it's turning off our ability to make memories. And so like during that span that you're put under, you know, you're still you're still function, whatever. But since you don't remember any of it, when you wake up, it's like nothing. So it's like someone took a pair, like the way we used to make old editing films back in the day, where you literally, to edit together, you would cut. You would literally take a pair of scissors or razor blade and you would cut it and splice
linear editing.
Yeah, and so they're not sure if it's that. But like, and that's why some believe that it is our consciousness being turned off. And so their argument is that's proof that we have that consciousness is separate from the body, because our body is still alive. Like when we're put under, we're still alive. We're still breathing.
We're meat suits.
Our entire meat suit functions just fine. But
we're all biological mechs.
Yeah,
that's what we are.
But it still functions just fine.
Right.
Even though our consciousness during that span is
the
gone.
Japanese and Battlestar Galactica had it right.
But it's
Seiya says, I know this might sound awful, but I love being under anesthesia. That's funny.
Hold on. Which form are you talking about? Like if you're talking about anesthesia where you're just all like loopy, but I'm talking about the kind where you're turned off. Like, because there is no liking being under it. If you're like what I'm talking about, because what I'm talking about is it's one moment to the next. Like you were asleep, like you feel yourself falling asleep and then instantly waking up. There is no in between time. So like, how could you like that? There's nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if she's talking about the loopy kind where you're like getting your teeth done or whatever, where you're kind of like conscious, but you're like drugged. Because everybody, I think, likes that to some extent.
The laughing gas.
Because how could you? Yeah. Because how could you like actual anesthesia? Like you literally don't exist for that amount of time. But the crazy thing is, there are some people that wake up in a state. It's like less than 1%, I think, but like they wake up, but they can't move at all, but they remember everything and they can feel everything. Like that's fucked, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that shit? Because I woke up in the middle of surgery a couple times, but like, you know, you briefly wake up, you're like, you kind of remember that you saw like some lights and whatever. You kind of knew that, you know, things were going on, but you don't really feel anything. You're not, and then like quickly you're back out because they realize you're awake. Like I've had that, but I mean, I've had at least like half a dozen surgeries at this point. I don't even know. You know, you've had quite a few and you don't remember how many anymore.
All right, we got to get out of here, but I have I want to report some news about the Hellgate. I am getting the sound design file, the 5.1. I am getting that from the
so we can finally see the trailer
this Saturday. I'm getting it. And depending on how many notes I have.
No, you should premiere it on the stream next Wednesday.
Listen to me.
Because then we can promote it to everyone. Oh, okay. You were saying, sorry. I thought you were going to say you were going to post it on Saturday.
No, I'm getting it on Saturday. I'm not anything. I'm getting it on Saturday.
Sorry, I talked too soon.
It's okay. I'm getting the sound design on Saturday. So that means I still have to watch it with this new set, and it's in 5.1. So I have to watch it.
Are you getting the sound? Like, is he attaching the sound, or are you getting it as a separate sound file?
It's a separate sound file. So he's sending me a file that I drop. Okay. That I drop onto the timeline and then export a version of the film with that. And,
I thought you were saying he was going to send it, and I'm like, dude, you don't want that. Like, you want to be able to like have your audio. So yeah, okay.
Right, yeah. So I'm going to watch it, and then depending on
you got to recut. Are you recutting the audio for the trailer?
No, I'm just going to be taking the audio for the clips that I use in the trailer and substituting it. Because right now the trailer has scratch audio. And it sounds like shit.
Yeah, but did he make an audio version of the trailer?
No.
So you have to recut all the audio to fit the trailer.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to the time code of the scene that I took and just lift the audio.
And just cut each part. Yeah, I'm just saying you have to still take each time audio and put it into the right places.
Yeah, but it's going to be easy. So that being said,
no, I didn't mean that. I just meant like
expect an announcement on Wednesday next week for when the trailer is going to drop.
But you should still release it on the stream first.
I am debating that.
Because then you can promote it, and you're also promoting this the stream as well as the trailer,
right?
instead
So
of just dropping it and being like, some people might watch it.
we probably will. We will probably premiere it here on the Death Rattle podcast. However,
although you should get people to go see it so to get views.
Depending on how evil I am, that premiere night might only be on the Death Rattle podcast channel and not on the Ghost Pirate channel.
Well, that's a good idea. Like, to watch it, you have to be.
You got to be.
I don't know. I don't know. I have a number of things.
We'll see.
That I want to talk to you about off air, because I've been like, there's some things that we should be doing that we haven't. So
yes,
that's one of the things that we do.
So anyway, that's my little announcement there, is that the trailer for the Hellgate will be released soon, and it's
really good, guys. So you should be looking forward to it.
Yeah, Kanan got to
genuinely
see it,
it's a good. I even put in some of my 2 cents on it. It's good.
Yeah. So all right. So that's it. Thanks everybody for watching and seeing us. Happy for everybody that joined and talked to us in the chat. It's awesome having you guys. Thank you again. Next week we will be back right here, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. on the West Coast, and whatever time it is out there anywhere in the world. I'm DJ. That's Kanan. This is the Death Rattle Podcast. We will see y'all next week. Bye.